never finish. We're always working on it. We're always reminding ourselves. We're always remembering who we are. Let me turn this on. I want to record myself. I'm just always amazed at how, when I look out and see all of you here, how beautiful you are, how radiant you are, and how I wonder about my life. And I'm always wondering, if you're wondering about yours as well. You are creating and always creating, and infinitely creating. You are infinite. You are infinite beings. We are infinite beings having a human experience. And that experience appears to limit us. I believe that before we were born, we set it up so that we would explore many human possibilities. In fact, infinite beings create infinite human possibilities. And that we decided, we agreed. In fact, we all agreed with each other before we all were born that we would be here and explore together. And so my quest is to do it more consciously as much as possible. And my quest is to find practices that actually help us do this process more consciously, to get a bigger picture of all of us, and as we do it together, and to be less involved emotionally and intellectually involved in our own experience. And remember that we are all angels having a human experience. Every single one of us is a divine being. And that's hard to remember when you look at the spectrum of political possibilities today. We are timeless and eternal beings, and as such, we have access to all possibilities. And as you practice every day, as you explore every day, what is it you're practicing for? So, and your thoughts, as Esther said, are creating your life. All 60,000 a day, approximately. I think there's more, actually. So we notice our beliefs, and our beliefs are thoughts that we just keep on thinking. We need to change our beliefs in order to get a better experience. And you have to be present with who you are and be happy with who you are and what you are doing and where you are going. And that gives you a peaceful place to start with before any change can happen. Before you can create any changes, you have to be happy with exactly where you are. And you have to be happy with, like Marilyn said, whoever you see out there. You have to be happy with whoever you see out there. They, in fact, are your ticket. out of the difficulties. They are your tickets. So I use 2 books, as usual, 2 books, and I also use the hundreds and hundreds of books that I've read up to now. You'll see it when you believe it, Wayne Dyer. His work is so clear, and this was one of his first books, and it's just so clear and so simple. And The Art of Possibility, Rosamund Stone Zander and Benjamin Zander. She was the place of peace, and he was the place of consternation. He was the director of the Boston Philharmonic Orchestra, and it was a volunteer orchestra, and so you can imagine the difficulties in creating and recreating that. A volunteer organization, just like this one. So the Zanders remind us very clearly that we're making this up as we go along. And it's just somehow very difficult to imagine that we're making it up because it seems so difficult at times. And there seem to be such difficulties in the world that we don't even see. And we certainly are not experiencing them, but people are. But we're making it up as we go along, so let's make it up a little differently. Gandhi said, "Be the change you wish to see in the world." I love that because we're always changing. We don't want to forget that there are infinite possibilities out there in here. So in Wayne Dyer's book, he has a section on practices, and so I'm going to talk about some of his practices. And I've added a few, and I'm going to talk, connect with everyone. Practice being in the flow. Connect with everyone. Even though you are not maybe looking at them right now, connect. It's easy to connect with people you can see. It's harder to connect with people you can't see. And it's easy to be critical of people you're not connecting with. But if you decide to connect, it's harder to be critical if you decide to connect. Notice how you label everyone and everything. And he reminds us that this practice is very limiting. So someone said to me this week, "I'm tired of being a crap magnet." And I thought, what a golden opportunity. And I just, when someone says that to us, we say, "Oh, I'm sorry, this is terrible, what an awful thing." But it's not. It's the golden opportunity to create something different. If you want something different, it sounds so simple, but it's not easy. Create something different if you want something different. We get into these times where we just feel like crap magnets. So the other day I said to myself, this was not quite early in the morning, but I had this idea that why are we not saying to ourselves every day to start the day, "Today is my lucky day"? Why can't we remember? I mean, how can it be simpler? Today is my lucky day. So I said that. I thought, this is amazing. What's going to happen today? What's going to happen today? What is going to what is going to be, how am I going to be lucky today? And of course, every day we have the possibility of these experiences that are unique and unusual and positive and absolutely wonderful. So I met a woman at Whole Foods. She had been here before. She said, I think I know you. And I said, Interfaith? She said, oh, yeah, I'm part of Deep Spring. And she told me her name, and we talked for a while, and then I went off and did I stayed there at the table. She went off and did her grocery shopping. And I went to the rec center to get a little exercise, and there she was. And this to me says, this is just a tiny experience of this is my lucky day. So we had a nice talk about how I could get better at my exercise. She had some good ideas for me, and some good ideas about leadership at this center. So on to the practices. Your journey and the goal are the same. And he talks about how we'll never get it done. We're always working on it. We're always playing with it. We're always entertaining new ideas. That's part of being divine. Is we never give up. We're always hopeful. We're always playful. Be playful. Be playful. Because you'll never get it done. Find your peace in the present moment. Breathe. Becoming present with what's going on. Be present with what's going on. It can change an experience entirely. It can change everything entirely. In one moment, you can change everything entirely. I like this one. Don't let anyone offend you. Send out love in response to disdain, racism, hate, fear, bullying. Behavior that comes to you that you don't like and don't agree with is not about you. It's about the other person. And if you're feeling offended, remember that it's about them. And that can change the whole experience, your whole emotional atmosphere. Oh, I love this one. See everyone and every event as a teacher. Because, as Esther reminded us, we have attracted this event, this experience, this situation. And no, it's not possible. We say, no, it's not possible, but yes, it is. Yes, it is. It's possible, and it's true. It's true. We are exploring. We're here on earth to explore. So here's another important practice. This is from the Xander's book. And it's called Leading from Behind. And wherever you are, you're a leader. Wherever you are. In the back row, you're a leader. In the back row of your experience, you are the leader. You're the one who decides what the atmosphere of your mind is at any given moment. You're the one who decides. And as you're leading from behind, as you're taking responsibility, you are able to respond at all times. As you're taking responsibility, you're the leader of your own life. You're in charge. You're in charge. So I just want to speak a little bit about the visioning process because that's another practice. And I've been to a couple of the visioning processes that we have done in creating new leadership at the center when Dave retires. And I thought of different ways to do this. For myself, I know that I need to put myself in a space where I can vision more often for leadership of this center and for leadership in my life through to, let's see, I have some notes. I have the questions. So at any time, I can sit down with a piece of paper and ask these questions. What is the best idea that I can think of for new leadership? And the second question is, who must I become? And that's about taking leadership from behind. Who must I become? The third question is, what must I release for my vision to become possible? And the fourth question is, what must I embrace to fulfill this vision? And I think visioning is important because we dream every night. And as we dream, we are completing the day before, and we are beginning the day ahead. And it's every night. It's a visioning process. So we might as well do it as consciously as possible. We're all equally responsible to create the kind of community that we want. So, but do take the opportunity to come and do the visioning with Michelle Schrag, who is leading the visioning process. She was part of the Bodhi Center in Chicago that started, it's a similar community to ours, and they started with 20 people. And now they have hundreds. And at every step of the way in their growth, they were doing visioning, a visioning process, to get clearer and even more clearer about where they were going, what they were doing, and what they wanted. What they wanted. What they did was, one of the steps in the prayer process of religious science, which is to focus on already having what they want. And that's something that we must do. We must give thanks for what we have. We must give thanks for what we are about to have. We must give thanks for what we want and what we're creating. So we give thanks ahead of time. And I'm familiar with this process because almost 20 years ago, Larry and I were looking for a house. We were sitting at the dinner table. And I said, oh, let's just give thanks for our new place, for our house. Let's just give thanks. So we said a little prayer and didn't think about it. And 2 days later, the house that we chose showed up. The right person showed up with the right real estate sale for us. And so it totally works. We're always evolving. We're always creating and recreating. And there are reasons for everything that's happening in our lives. And Deepak Chopra brings out the idea that there are hidden mysteries, there are hidden reasons. We don't always know why. We see what, but we don't always know the complete answer to everything that's going on in our lives. And so we have to, the last step in the prayer process of religious science communities is release. Release everything. Release what you have said you want. Release yourself into a greater flow of life. Release your words. Release expectations. Keep your expectations. Release any particular result. Because you need faith. Every spiritual teacher, and every spiritual teacher talks about this process that we have of creating and the need to release. Neil Donald Walsh, in one of his books, goes through this and talks about the need to have faith. So we always have the opportunity to return when this is all done, when we're all done, when we're all done for the day or for the process or for the expressing what we want, or when we're done with a difficult situation and we're returning to a quiet place. Remember that we are whole. We are already whole. We are already perfect. There's nothing to do. Nothing to do. We are perfect as we are. That's a hard thing to remember. So, return to stillness. Return to where we began. Return to deep breaths. And return to love. Remember what we are. Now it's your turn.